What is up, guys? I'm gonna do the enneagram extension. I already did two of them, and one was I did it on my own, on my computer, on Paint, and now I will illustrate it and make it even more comprehensible. And I actually add a lot kind of connection within it, and I think that's actually the future. I think that I wasn't sure it was real or not, if the dynamics were illustrated better, if it depends on people, if it's actually accurate, if it can be seen in people like mechanically. Now it's really hard to see it mechanically, that kind of enneagram. It's actually more instinctual, or the OPS function. It's also instinctual, but it has a mechanic aspect and a cognitive aspect that can be seen and tracked, even though it does originate more with instincts, which is more what OPS is doing with saviors and demons. Actually, it's actually not really cognitive, biological, analyzing your actual skills or how you actually use the thing, but it does track the symbolic instincts of how they come to something. Like that's actually what they are. But the enneagram is actually it's harder to see. But I've seen pattern, guys, and the enneagram doesn't seem to fade away. And I think that originally it's the Kabbalah, the Jews. It's more an esoteric thing, and it has more the levels actually. Enneagram start more with levels, and now with time they just made numbers and a circle, how they connect, how they relate to each other. And me, I actually decide to organize them through 3 layers, and kind of is a concept in Enneagram that there's the head, the heart, and the body, and also the concept of attachment, frustration, and rejection. And I do see those patterns even within types. So a type, it can be the same type, and okay, there's a little bit of differences. I don't like actually the numbers in an enneagram. With time, it's a little bullshit. OPS explained that actually better. Like 7 in enneagram, it's like you have a little bit more of OE. Maybe feelings like that kind of fashion. More social tree. Maybe that's why you see that one bend at the end of the tri-type. It's like tri-type is a little bit confusing, and it's actually OPS actually illustrates better the patterns, but there's actually some dynamics that I think that my enneagram extension would actually improve, and I think with time it will be like 2 types. How it is written, it's the same fucking thing, the same fucking person, a lot of mechanics together, but I think that with time we'll really see a division with your OPS type and the enneagram extension. And the enneagram extension, in my sense, will have the social type. So it will be more social type, instinct in enneagram, and my own extension of enneagram. So I think it will be more a division, and one will be more acknowledged as cognitive, even though it's also instinctual, of course, but it has more a cognitive bent to it at the end of the day, and universal, how it is represented symbolically, while the enneagram, it will be more instinctual, how it is actually represented. Now, even if they are both, even if they are behavior, mechanics, and cognitive, and instinctual, and they are different within those levels, but they start to be pretty complicated. But yeah. So enneagram, my extension of enneagram, pretty straightforward actually. I just divided into 3 levels and 2 of them. So it's more kind of like that. And like 3Ks. And I will also make the connection with the instincts. So the instincts, if you don't remember them, there's the social, the self-pres, and the sexual. think that in the future, I mean, those ones are so easy to track in people. I mean, it's been 2 years and a half that actually tells the story, and I think they are really easy to see. And even within social type, like I think that some of my type twins are more SP, and you can definitely see that. Some are more SO, you can definitely see that, and some are more sexual, you can definitely see that. Like in the spectrum of my same type, you can actually see those. Even within a social type tree, even though there seems to be connections within it. Like they mentioned, they say, like, for example, social tree more associated with sleep. It has more that kind of universal connection to it. And I also see that with the instincts. So SP for sure is actually more akin to sleep, social tree, some kind of fashion. And so more play, maybe, feeling, yeah. And sexual is more FM, feminine energy, masculine energy. Seems that there's more an inclination or a focus on that. So sketch is actually kind of different, and I will illustrate how they are placed within that. But yeah. So the first one, I name it more Heaven, Logos, and Earth. It's actually more represented like the Kabbalah in some sense, or the religious aspect. I can see how it can be problematic, maybe to some people, but they actually illustrate the pattern. And the other one is more head, heart, and body, which is already used in enneagram. So the body will be more like we know in enneagram, it's the 1, 8, and 9. I guess I will write it there. Body, earth. So it's the same fucking thing as in enneagram. So my extension is actually more to represent them in levels, really understand them, that they have a geography in a sense, geometry, geography to them. My bad, it's actually 5 first, 6 and 7. And this one is more even in my sense. Maybe in the future I will change like top, middle, bottom. But I think because actually illustrate, I think it has more dynamics of even. It's more eye in the tower. So it's actually different in a sense. Because, there's a 3 big style. It's an object relation, they name it, and I think they are very useful. And a lot of other things like optimistic tri-type, wide drum tri-type, more that kind of fashion. I think they can be expressed better in OPS, and it does have a complement to it with levels, because I will associate what they actually mean, But yeah, I think that actually the top is frustration. That you want a certain type of paradise, and people, they don't respond to you in the same way, so you get frustrated. All the logos in the middle try to conform to people. It's a lot about conforming, adapting, kind of taking the other point of view and building on it. And it has more a social bent to it, of course. So I will illustrate that. So it will start to become complicated, but you can see that it's not really that complicated. It's just taking a diagram, and I'm adding levels, and after I will make some connection. But yeah. And the last one is rejection, which is earth. See more as earth. That the earth is more about, like I'm talking all the time. You can see this at the bottom as multiplicity, and the top is more unity / introvert to some degree, not really. So yeah, and it can be seen in how people like me. You can see that I'm actually more a body type actually, and I have the logos. So me, I'm easy to see. Well, actually, they didn't write the function. The numbers, holy fuck. It would be super confusing. But yeah, so attachment is 3, 6, 9. Like enneagram, actually. My frustration is actually a little different from enneagram. I think that they got one wrong actually. And I mean two wrong, but one coin wrong, we can say. I think it's actually more 1, 4, and 5. I think enneagram is 1, 4, and 7. I think it's 1, 4, and 5. I think that 7 is too much about multiplicity and earthly pleasure, that it makes more sense at the bottom. And it's more about rejection of the order and the non-pleasure, rather than being frustrated. And I think they got confused because they kind of are aligned. So if you are more in heaven, actually, in some sense you have more head energy, so they interact with each other, you can say. That if you are there, you interact better with your neighbor, you can say. And that's why attachment and art, they are more in the middle, they are more about conforming. It's because they interact with a lot of neighbors, you can say. So diagonal like that, not really. It would be more like 3, while the other one on the edge are more about 2 kind of perspective, 2 neighbor interaction. So yeah, I think projection is actually, what's left? Yeah, 2, 7, 8. So like I said, heaven is actually more head in some fashion. Logos is more earth in some fashion. Earth is more body in some fashion. And if you are more body, in some sense you are more earth. You can understand. And earth to some degree, which everyone will be, except if your frustration and rejection, in some sense they reject the earth, because it's the only that cannot interact with the earth. Or attachment is a body and head that actually don't have an interaction with attachment. Okay, so how I will write it? Very simply, like I said, I think it will be the OPS model and the more instinct social type enneagram model. And to put it simply, I would just write the instinct first. So instead of just writing social tree, I would say I'm a SO, but some people use SP because it can be confusing because it's the social but not the social type. But I would be more like SO3. Okay, my social type, my instincts, and now with all that gibberish, I would just write L and B. So that will be kind of the code. Now it might become confusing. It will be hard. I think that will be the case because I think that's really useful. But maybe a better way to write it. But I think that's right. So within those 3 levels, I'm actually more in that one. I'm actually more about attachment, the logos, conforming to others and all that, which has an SO bent to it, which I will make universal connection maybe now. But I really hope it's not confusing. But yeah, but logos and head are actually more social. So you can say that social is more L and H. Now there is actually 3H. So maybe I will actually change all that with top, middle, bottom. Now there's 2B because of that. So maybe the earth I will change with that. But yeah, it's logos and head. It's more social akin. SP is actually more earth and B. And I think that sexual is actually more earth and heaven. It's more earth and heaven. And even in the name, they illustrate very well in my sense. like the social is really much, a lot about attachment and head. It's really attachment, head. Self-preservation is a lot about how you preserve yourself, more body, earth, body, earth. Also sexual, that's heaven, you know. That's I mean, it can be, there can be there can be a case for earth actually, and self-preservation being more heaven. I mean, like actually to talk about, yeah, it might be actually self-preservation might be heaven body maybe. Yeah, self-preservation is more heaven body. Yeah, I think I actually read that in my notes. And sexual is actually more earth head. I think it's more earth head. So it's more about multiplicity in the earth, but it's more about my own dopamine there, my head, which is characteristic of the seven. You know, seven are more about accumulation in earth, but it's all about the head being stimulated. So it's more SENE, like you can say, dopamine. So yeah, me and my quadrant are more attachment and body. While I don't know, Sacha Baron Cohen, Denis Villeneuve, Timothée Chalamet, like close types to me, actually, you can actually definitely see that they are different from me. And yeah, maybe with time I will see that some are more common than others. I think that's highly possible that maybe 50% of people there are more three dynamics, let's say, and that the other 6 are more, and the other 50% of people. So it wouldn't surprise me that a lot in the population are earth body, logos body. I can even see a lot of honesty, heaven body. I can see a lot of heaven head maybe, or earth head. So I think maybe the most rare might be heaven earth. I think heaven earth. Yeah, heaven earth. Earth, I've actually seen. I think even a guy close to me, my social type twin is actually that. So actually it might be that it's pretty even among the dynamics. And yet the levels they really represented. They really represent a dynamic that you can see it's more an accent on the head, it's more accent on the earth and body. And you can even make association like some particular dynamic have a better time talking, some better dynamic have a better time adapting, some have a better time. So it can be hard to maybe see it right away in the mechanics, but that's my theory. Maybe try to assess that in people with the enneagram's knowledge. And I want to represent the level because I think that the levels are pretty important. And yeah, social type, I think social type will have some correlation to it. I have seen some, not so much as you might expect, not as much as you can you could expect, but yeah. So yeah, thanks. That's it. Thanks for watching.